Elton John is one of the most iconic musicians in history, known for his flamboyant style, powerful voice, and timeless music. With over 5 decades in the music industry, Elton has left an indelible mark on pop culture. However, behind the glitz, glamour, and success, there are several devastating details about his personal life and career that many people may not be aware of. His life story is filled with challenges, from struggles with addiction to painful relationships and health battles. Let's take a deeper look into the hardships Elton John has faced throughout his life. A troubled childhood. Born Reginald Kenneth Dwight on March 25, 1947, in Pinner, Middlesex, England, Elton John had a difficult childhood. His relationship with his father, Stanley Dwight, was especially strained. Stanley, a Royal Air Force RAF officer, was emotionally distant, often cold and disapproving of Elton's love for music. He had very strict ideas about how Elton should behave and what career path he should follow, discouraging his musical ambitions. Elton's parents had a tumultuous relationship, filled with frequent arguments, leading to their eventual divorce when Elton was 14. His mother, Sheila Fairbrother, while supportive of his music career, was also known for her sharp tongue and critical nature. These early family conflicts had a lasting impact on Elton's self-esteem and sense of identity. In his autobiography, Me, he wrote about the loneliness he felt during his formative years, longing for love and acceptance from his parents. Struggles with addiction. One of the most devastating chapters of Elton John's life was his battle with addiction. During the height of his fame in the 1970 seconds and 1980 seconds, Elton spiraled into a dark period marked by excessive drug and alcohol use. He frequently used cocaine and other substances to cope with the pressures of fame, isolation, and his unresolved emotional struggles. In several interviews, Elton has described how he would go on benders for days, locking himself away in his home, completely out of control. His substance abuse not only affected his physical and mental health, but also caused strains in his personal relationships. Friends and collaborators, including his longtime lyricist Bernie Taupin, became concerned as Elton's drug-fueled lifestyle became more erratic and dangerous. He even admitted to attempting suicide multiple times, reflecting just how deep his struggles with addiction and depression ran. Elton once confessed that, during this period, he was a monster to those around him, but many of his friends remained supportive and stood by him through his darkest days. It wasn't until the late 1980 seconds, after years of battling his demons, that Elton sought help. In 1990, he entered rehab to confront his addiction, marking a turning point in his life. He has been sober ever since, crediting his recovery to the unwavering support of his friends and his determination to rebuild his life. Heartbreak and the search for love. Elton John's quest for love was long and fraught with heartache. For much of his early career, Elton struggled with his sexual identity. He initially had relationships with women, including a short-lived marriage to Renate Blowell in 1984, a sound engineer he met while recording his album Too Low for Zero. Their marriage, which lasted only 4 years, was a painful chapter for both Elton and Renate. Elton later acknowledged that he married Renate to avoid facing the truth about his sexuality, leading to emotional distress for both of them. In 1976, Elton came out as bisexual in an interview with Rolling Stone, a move that was considered daring for the time. However, it wasn't until the late 1980 seconds that he fully embraced his identity as a gay man. This realization brought him a sense of relief, but it also meant navigating a new set of challenges, especially in an era when homosexuality was still stigmatized in many parts of the world. Elton finally found lasting love in the early 1990 seconds with David Furnish, a Canadian filmer. The two began their relationship in 1993, and in 2005, they entered into a civil partnership, becoming one of the first couples to do so in the UK after civil partnerships were legalized. In 2014, after same-sex marriage became legal in England, Elton and David officially married. Despite the years of searching and heartbreak, Elton has often said that David brought him the stability and happiness he had been seeking his whole life. Health struggles. Elton John's health issues have been another source of significant difficulty in his life. Over the years, he has battled a number of serious health problems, some of which nearly cost him his life. In 2013, Elton had to cancel a series of concerts after undergoing emergency surgery for appendicitis, which he later revealed could have been fatal if it had not been treated in time. In 2017, while on tour in South America, Elton contracted a rare and life-threatening bacterial infection. After being rushed to intensive care, he was forced to cancel several months of performances. In his typical resilient fashion, Elton recovered, but he admitted that the experience had shaken him deeply, making him realize the fragility of life. In addition to these critical health scares, Elton has dealt with ongoing physical issues, including severe knee problems that have plagued him for years. These struggles, along with his desire to spend more time with his family, ultimately led to his decision to embark on a farewell tour, announcing that he would retire from touring to focus on his health and personal life. Strained family relationships. While Elton has had a long and successful career, his personal relationships with his family have often been rocky. His relationship with his mother, Sheila Fairbrother, was particularly difficult. For many years, they had a close bond, but in 2008, a rift occurred that led to nearly a decade of estrangement. The reasons for their falling out have been a topic of speculation, but it was reportedly related to disagreements over Elton's personal life and the people he surrounded himself with. Despite this estrangement, Elton reconnected with his mother before her death in 2017, but the relationship remained complicated until the end. Elton has expressed regret over the years they lost, but he has also spoken candidly about how their relationship was always fraught with tension, even when they were on good terms. The weight of fame. While Elton John has enjoyed an extraordinary career, the pressures of fame have taken their toll on him. At the height of his success, Elton found it difficult to cope with the constant scrutiny and the demands placed upon him by the music industry. The excesses of fame, including the non-stop touring, media attention, and the need to constantly outdo himself, contributed to his addiction issues and mental health struggles. In recent years, Elton has been open about the emotional toll that fame can take. He has shared that, despite the adoration of millions of fans, he often felt lonely and isolated, particularly during his younger years. His decision to step back from touring after his farewell tour was partly driven by a desire to escape the intense pressures of the spotlight and focus on his well-being. Ending. Elton John's life has been marked by extraordinary highs and heartbreaking lows. Behind the larger-than-life persona and musical genius lies a man who has faced numerous personal struggles, from addiction and health battles to painful losses and strained relationships. Despite these challenges, Elton has remained a resilient and determined figure, using his experiences to inspire others and make a positive impact on the world through his music and philanthropy. His legacy as one of the greatest artists of all time is undeniable, but so too is the story of a man who overcame immense obstacles to find peace, love, and purpose in his life.